Can you imagine a perk evolution system where Rogue's poison weapon could be applied to every teammate? Or a hardcore event where if you get level 20 plus, you can win awesome rewards like gold, items, or skins. But if you die, you have to start from the beginning. In this video, I'll be talking about some ideas that I've had about Darker and some other ideas that I've gathered within the community. I'll also be talking about how to implement a self-found system, something that has been discussed by the community for a long time now, but still has a lot of different opinions about it. Nerf items base stats. Currently, base item stats are too powerful. I would nerf them by -1. Now, this is pretty simple. Here we have the example of the leather gloves. I would just do this minor adjustment. RMA really likes to go heavy on balance changes, and I think that doing just small adjustments is also fine because you can really do some fine tuning and get the right balance for the game. So I'll just nerf them by -1. I think higher time to kill allows you to show more skill expression, just play out more the fights and show more strategy. Currently, I think fights just ends too quickly. You go in, you kill people, or you get killed. I like when fights take longer, so you feel like compromised fighting for so long that maybe you can get third partied, or you might have to retreat or to commit and get third partied later. I think it's more fun. Now for the focus of this video, the self-found system. This is not my idea, obviously. Many people have been talking about a system like this, and I think it would be beneficial for the game. I would really like if we had this implemented at least in normal game. Division of items, normal and cursed. This is just a name that I made up, doesn't really need to be like this. Normal items found in raid. Only items found during raids can be used in normal and high roller modes, but are limited to rare, maybe epic items or below. The reason why maybe epic is because they took uniques out of the game, and now uniques are only named weapons. So if they brought back uniques to the game, high roller could be legendaries and uniques. Cursed items, traded and epic. Items bought or sold in the black market, and all items above rare grade. Black market. Rename the current market to black market. Again, this is just a provisory name that I made up. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be this way. The only reason for this is that they could add it to the lore, so you cannot use those items in normal dungeons because they're regulated. Traders Guild would be the merchants. Any items traded on the black market becomes cursed, encouraging players to find items during raids for use in normal mode. Remove free-to-play access to the black market, or invert the current system so that they can sell items but not buy them. Weekly item evolution. This is something that I came up with. This is my idea, but I don't know if it should be added. Implement a system where normal items evolve weekly in grade. Common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, maybe. If there are uniques, there should be legendaries. This adds an element of surprise and excitement, encouraging players to return to the game regularly to see how their items have evolved. So pretty much, if your items, you have blue items that are really good, if they turned into epic, you wouldn't be able to use them anymore. So you have to either sell it or buy the game and play high roller. They probably can control this since they changed item status mid-season before. Yeah, they've changed item stats before, removing all attributes and stuff like that. Limitations in normal mode. This is pretty much the self-found system, only in normals. Players in normal mode can only use rare items and below that are found in raids. Items of epic grade and above, epic, legendary, and unique are automatically considered cursed. If you grab a epic item in a normal dungeon, you would have to play high roller to use that item. High roller players have an easier time getting items, therefore a small advantage over free-to-play players. You can hop in high roller, grab a lot of different rare items, and just sell the ones that you don't want and keep the ones that you want to use in normals, so to build the perfect build for your character. Goblin Merchant. Make the Goblin Merchant an NPC associated with the black market, with specific quests for high roller mode. Offer cosmetic items rewards and other benefits for players who complete these quests, encouraging participation in the black market and high roller mode. So this change is specifically to encourage players to play high roller right, because if the self-found system is as good as I imagine it would be, people wouldn't really want to just play High Roller to use epic items, you know? Everyone would be playing normal game. And a way to make players play High Rollers, giving them good rewards, you know, better rewards than just seasonal ones. Really good cosmetic rewards, so players would want to buy the game for those rewards as well. Incentive to purchase the game. Limiting the use of high quality items in normal mode, cosmetic rewards, and the weekly item evolution of your rare grade items to epic grade could potentially encourage players to purchase the game to use these items in High Roller mode, offering clear progression and significant rewards for those who commit more to the game. Improved test server. Test server is almost useless. Changes like multi-classing, Warlock Demon Form buff, Druid Baron, Panther Power, etc. could have been nerfed or avoided through testing. It feels very discouraging to enjoy a hotfix change, buff or nerf, only to be reversed next week. Here I'm talking about multi-classing specifically because everyone was kind of against it that tested on the test servers, and they still went with it. You know, some changes could be avoided just through testing. It's easy as that. Just don't do huge buffs or huge nerfs without testing it first, because you can just kill the characters for a couple weeks before you patch it out, and that is very tiresome for someone who likes that character, you know. Most players that I know play with one main character only, you know. They can dabble with different characters, but normally they only play with their main character. A solution would be to make a specific time frame to test new changes and make it only NA servers so that lobbies could be filled. So what I mean by this is like, do you like League of Legends PvE where it's only NA? The specific time frame is because not many people play the test servers, so even if it's only NA, I don't think they will be filled. Make specific time frames, weekends, you know, 3 to 4 days to test new changes so you can fill those test server lobbies, and obviously make it free. Okay, make it free so everyone can play it. Everyone can play the full game in the test server. You know, in those 4 days, you can go in High Roller. You can make it everything free to test it. Just make testing really easy for players, because you know you're testing the game. You're helping the company somehow. So just make it free. Make it easy access to the test server. High Roller Changes. Reintroduce the zone in HR. It would improve the PvP experience and make it harder to farm items in High Roller matches. If the self-found system were to be implemented, High Roller players would have such an easier time farming blue items, rare items than normal game players. So make it a little bit harder to farm items. Bring the zone back, make it PvP heavy, so you know it's harder to leave the dungeon with that loot. The zone could blend elements from both the past and current systems, initially guiding players to a designated location and then transitioning into the current system at the 5-minute remaining mark. Just how it is right now, where the rocks start falling at 5 minutes. Make it so the zone goes to a certain place, and when you get to that place, a big zone in the dungeon, like 4 modules or something, 4 to 5 to 6 modules. Just make it so the rocks start falling and players have to head for specific portals, you know, maybe the old systems, like the old portal system, random portals. And that could even be implemented to normal game as well. A system where you have half of the dungeon being cut out by the zone and the other half being destroyed by the rocks falling. That would require an increase in zone damage at the beginning of the game. You know, make the zone hurt so players cannot just stand around in the zone waiting to leave. They have to go either leave the dungeon immediately or go to the safe zone. Boost HR Inferno loot. Epic and legendary items should be common in HR Inferno so that players would feel compelled to go deeper into the dungeons. I even think that uniques should also be brought back to the game and added into like the Inferno High Roller loot, where you can find it in mini bosses maybe, or in marvelous chests or golden chests. Some specific places where you can just grab those unique armor pieces or even unique weapons that are not named artifacts. I also think that they should buff named items drops. It would add so much more to the High Roller experience. I think that if we had more named items, more artifacts being run in the dungeon, would benefit players that go into High Roller because they would have a completely different experience than players that are only playing normal game. But the only way of actually using named items artifacts is if you remove inspect in lobbies, because right now if you bring a named item, people just like hunt you down the whole dungeon, team up against you, try to kill you all the time, and so it's better just to sell it. The reason why I'm putting remove inspect in lobbies so down on the list is that I thought that was easy, but they said it would be removed so long ago and still isn't, so it might be harder than I thought. They don't have to remove the tavern entirely if that's the problem. Just remove the inspect function, you know, just don't allow players to press F and then see your whole kit and just like think about if they're gonna run after you or not. I get the vibes of the tavern and I really like going to the tavern and talking to people, but don't allow people to see your build. Finish the training system. I'm not necessarily saying to bring multi-classing back, but I think they should keep trying the training system somehow. So add passives to classes. I have a lot of ideas to specific passives to each class, so you know we can keep the class identity while like multi-classing. But you know, just make some perks can be traded or others can't. Don't allow trading spells, for example, or maybe just add new versions of existing perks like a perk evolution or upgrade system. A system where like if you upgrade your perks, poison weapon now is applied to every teammate. So one rogue goes with poison weapon, then you have a ranger with poison weapon as well. Just like a cool perks evolution like that. Future additions, maybe. This is just some ideas that I had that I think would be nice to see in game. More horror-like mechanics, for example. Mimics jumping on the screen, mummies spawning behind you, skeletons having a delay to rise, things like that just adds a little bit of spice, you know, just it's more fun. Something like a ghost mini boss that goes through doors and patrols the whole dungeon. So, you know, this mini boss doesn't really necessarily have to break the doors. They can just pass through them and patrols the dungeon chasing for players, you know. So you might have to fight a mini boss that you were not expecting to. So it would be a surprise. It would be a random element, and I think that more random elements to the game like that just adds to the replayability. I think having a little bit of scare in the game would spice things up a bit. Doors should be more impactful. Running away from someone and closing the door should help you get away more, or chasing down someone and them having to open the door should be their undoing. So here I'm talking about maybe doors taking longer to open. Everyone maybe should have take the same amount of time to open doors, and then rogues could have a perk that lets them open it faster, like just so rogues can run away, be trickster, you know, all roguey. Having the ability to lock iron doors, maybe have more heavy doors where, you know, just some specific doors are heavy, so it takes longer to open. You know, you close just as fast, but you take longer to open them. So, you know, you can trap players or you can escape faster, you know. More perks for legendary. Again, this is based on the financial side of the game. I'm trying to encourage players to buy the game. So a dungeon scroll map, even a PNG would be fine. So you don't have to check the interactive map website just to see if you have the barracks in your run. Maybe you could have like, it could be an item that you buy at the Tavern Master, you know, just small item that you buy and it's a scroll map for wherever dungeon you are. But, you know, just even being able to press the M key on your keyboard and open a map, these players will check the map, you know, they will check the interactive map. Just allow for like as a perk, players just have this convenience. Redstone shards rewards, I think that we paid $35 or $50 for this game, and not because it's free, but also because it's free, we should have more access to redstone shards sometimes as rewards or as challenges. Most games that are free to play give you cash, you know, give you like in-game currency for free to keep you engaged. A small amount every month, a small amount every week, or whatever, just some way to actually get it. Seasonal events expression. Saint Nick and Jack-o'-lantern are nice, but the tavern could be themed after the seasonal event. You know, just some pumpkin, some like thunder sounds, scary sounds on Halloween, something like that goes a long way in like feeling like you are playing a season event. Exclusive seasonal skins for legendary only. Again, more perks for legendary players, encouraging people to buy the game. 1 or 2 new mobs for each seasonal event would be interesting. You know, just, I don't know if that's too hard, but maybe, you know, though I'm just throwing ideas. They probably think about that. Probably not just easy to make it, right? Twitch drops with seasonal skins for everyone. Iron Mace probably knows that, but Twitch drops are very fun and like engaging in communities because it generates more people watching the game on stream and more people interested in downloading the game to have those skins. So, you know, make it free skins for everyone. Just watch Twitch lives and it'd be really cool. Not bandages, not potions, not items like that. Skins, specific skins. This is my idea, a anniversary hardcore event. I came up with this event like once a year in the Dark and Darker anniversary. Could be the early access anniversary, could be the Steam release anniversary. Your hardcore character can only play in Highroller mode. If you reach level 20 before the event ends, you will receive a special cosmetic rewards. Maybe they could open Highroller to everyone in this event, for everyone that's using the hardcore characters. More mobs and variations. Add 2 or 3 additional attack patterns to some mobs or sub-bosses. I think this adds a little bit of dynamic to the game. You know, a random attack patterns. Just 1 or 2 more attacks actually. Just, you know, a different swing for mobs, so that you were not expecting that movement and suddenly they do it. You know, like nightmare skeletons, for example. Design an animation that plays whenever you are the first person to activate a boss. For example, the cave troll could be shown sleeping and then waking up, or the cyclops could be seen eating something. After the boss is activated, they remain active just like in the curse system. So, you know, get in, the boss is doing something, you know, the lich is doing something, it's flying, meditating, whatever. And once you activate it, it just remains as it is currently, you know, in the middle of the arena. Skeleton variations without limbs, and maybe add limb dismemberment physics for them. I don't know, maybe just you hit a skeleton in their arm, they lose their weapon, whatever. Or if that is too difficult, just make some skeletons not have legs. You know, they have to crawl. Different variations for them that just are already in game. You don't have to dismember them, just if that's easier. Now for the hardest of them all. Balance changes. This is super important, yet it will forever need improvement. People are always asking for more balance. Nerf barbarian, buff wizard, nerf rogues. You know, people are always asking for balance changes. So I'm not talking about specific class balance changes, I'm talking about more additions that could balance the game in a different way. Warlocks using Deathbloom or wizards using Viola, for example. You know, just more different classes using different weapons if they're named. Add more uniques like armors or bard equipments. You know, uniques like named weapons, because right now we don't have normal uniques like armors and stuff. Add more artifacts, more named, like a torn armor that reflects damage, like reflects 5 true physical damage to anyone that attacks you, you know. You must use an item bought on the market before reselling it, so that named items are no longer treated like NFTs. That way you have to use the named weapon that you bought, you know, instead of just reselling it on Discord. You cannot keep trading items just easily. More funny playstyles like Rogue Pickpocket. I think this is for content. Being able to create more funny builds. Maybe something with Rat, you know, Rat Druid. Things that are just funny to play against, and you know, rogues stealing you then running away is pretty funny. It's kind of your fault to be to lose your items without realizing. So I think that we should have more fun in the game without like hardcore competitive plays. On that note, I would bring back VoIP on by default again. Right now no one's using VoIP because they don't really know that it's not on or that they can use it. You know, just new players are not using it, so just turn it on by default so we can hear those conversations, we can talk to them. You know, it's really funny, creates fun interactions, again, all for the fun, maybe content online on Twitch, whatever. Resourcefulness could interact with buffs and debuffs. I've noticed that RMAce has been making some changes into resourcefulness, trying to make more interactive. So, you know, maybe resourcefulness could interact with buffs and debuffs. It's just an idea. Inferno waiting room could connect with a different lobby to increase PvP encounters in Inferno. I don't know if this is too hard to do, but it would be pretty cool if you had like a 2-minute waiting room every time you got into Inferno, or 1 minute, 90 seconds, just so that any players getting into Inferno could connect with you in that lobby at that specific moment. Maybe add some function to only start counting the lobby timer when 80% of the players are in. What I mean by this is that I play in the Brazilian servers, and sometimes they're very empty, and I would definitely wait more time to play with a full server. You know, I don't care about waiting. So if there was an option where I would just be waiting for a full lobby, you know, I don't care. I'll wait for like 5 minutes, I don't care. Rotate items in inventory. Again, just some addition, balanced addition, just make it easier to organize our inventories. That doesn't necessarily only means rotation, it could be filter, you know, add filters to the inventory. I know that RMAce likes the hardcore experience to the game, but some things are not hardcore, they're just annoying. Having to trade with your friends, like you did before, you had to trade your friends for items to get to different classes. Now you have that inventory system where you just throw in your shared stash and you can grab it. You know, that is like an addition that is not hardcore, but it's really good because it's annoying to have to do something. Some specific things are just annoying, like sorting your items manually. You know, having to organize everything manually is very boring, it's very annoying. I just want to say I trust RMAce, okay? Even if none of these ideas are good or are implemented or are heard by anyone, I don't like, that doesn't really matter, because this is my favorite game and it's all because of RMAce. Just they've done a great game, and you know, everything I'm talking here is because of their work, their past work. The combat is amazing, the gameplay loop is very fun, the game is great, you know. And if this video ever reaches a RMAce member, firstly I want to thank you for your game. It's really fun and addicting. I really want to say thank you. This is a great game, it's my favorite game at the moment. All I want with this video and this presentation is to contribute to the game. As a member of this community for over a year, I love the game and I'll keep playing it no matter what. But if I had the opportunity to work for RMAce, it would be truly a dream come true. I love this game, and I think that I know a little bit about what the community wants somehow. Like, I'm always in tune with Reddit and Discord and streamers. I'm constantly watching dark and darker content. You know, just filter additions, filter some ideas, and deliver those ideas. I don't know, I really want to be a part of the game development somehow, even if it's just like through filtering other people's ideas or taking complaints. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this far. As I've said before, most of these ideas are not mine, but I would really appreciate if you please comment about the video. Let me know what you think about my ideas, about the general sense of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I wrote this video back in May, before the Steam release, before I ever knew that they were going to release it on Steam. And in my first draft of this video, I was talking about how the cell phone system could bring back different items to normal game, you know, colored items to normal game. And they did that, so of course that was a big crash with the Steam launch that could be avoided. Since then, they've brought back unique to the game. They've been talking about some problems that the game has with item rotation and other problems that are just annoying, like I said in the video. They're solving problems that are not hardcore, they're not hardcore experience. They've been talking about the tavern. I don't know why they cannot just remove the inspect function. As I've said in this video, they said that it is more complicated than removing the entire tavern. I don't think that that's actually the case. All those news since May have shown me that as a community we are on the right path for this game. We're thinking about changes that RMA is also thinking about, myself included. I've talked about uniques a lot. I've talked about resourcefulness interacting with buff duration bonus. It's written in this video, no, it's not talked about. But now we have warlocks building resourcefulness and buff duration. You know, using resourcefulness with buff duration could heavily benefit that build, which is just a different, fun, interesting build for warlocks. So yeah, it's very cool to know that the devs are thinking in that ideas that the community had, problems that the community pointed out, are being looked into.